All right, so here's a reaction to an article I've discovered, which is a bit mental. It doesn't. The details don't so much matter, I think, but it's another one of these cases in which I've no idea what's happening to policemen's heads, to the stooges, but it's not good. So I'll give you the long story short. I'm not even going to go through the details, etc. I did read it all. And find quite a lot of the counter arguments completely unconvincing by absolutely everybody. There is a bit of an endemic problem now, generally speaking, in various places in the West of pathological petty theft. It's kind of all over the place. Now, theft in particular is something I really am not very keen on. It's basically one rung down from much more severe crimes, in my opinion, right? Say if you start right at the top at murder and you go one step down to, of course I'm talking about individual crimes here, right? You one step down to battery, assault, that sort of thing, armed robbery, and then you're right there at theft. That's kind of my personal barometer, okay? My sense of justice, which I understand doesn't match the justice system, but that doesn't matter to me. And it shouldn't to anybody. Everybody should have their own moral compass. Whatever informs it. Anyhow. So this old gentleman over here, let's see, I can scroll a little bit. There you go. This old gentleman over here runs a store. This store has to do with his passions. His passions are collecting vintage stuff, used stuff that then he sells. That's in Britain. When I used to live in Britain, there were lots of pawn shops on various places on the high street and similar places, etc. And then if you get more off the beaten track, you'd find them sort of in line with residences and everything. It would be very, it's a very charming aspect of Britain. And you'd enter these shops and you'd find lots of interesting stuff, like things that you wouldn't even be able to recognize as to what they did or what they were for because they were so old. Anyway, clearly, and this is very plain, this individual is not somebody who is mega wealthy, so all of these stupid communist arguments of envy do not apply, right? You cannot argue, oh yeah, you were robbing Nestle, therefore Robin Hood. Okay, that doesn't work here at all. This is an older gentleman who runs his little store. This is personal property, and he tries to make a living out of preserving the past in one way or the other, right? I mean, this is one rung up from charity. And what's happening is that he is routinely robbed. Or, he's the victim of shoplifting, which is a fantastic terminology for stealing, right? So somebody comes in, grabs some of the objects that are on display, runs out for whatever reason they have. Whether it be poverty, whether it be hunger, whether it be some form of addiction that they need to feed, it doesn't much matter. Right? They come in and they damage this individual. Okay? Now, I guarantee to you, this individual's margins are non-existent. Meaning, he finds a certain object, displays the object, puts a price tag on it, somebody comes in, somebody haggles on the price, and he says yay or nay or whatever, and sells the object. Right? He will make nothing from selling that object. He will just make a vague living, while living the way he wants to live in a free world, theoretically, right? He obviously needs to charge VAT for everything he sells, because the government wants a slice of every single one transaction this man ever does. Then he needs to pay himself a salary, probably mandatorily, like in my country where I live right now, because he runs an operation. And if he has employees, that's even worse, because he needs to pay their salaries, their contributions, the taxes on the salary, the taxes on his personal income, his own pension plan, which is probably mandatory. I don't recall anymore how it works in the United Kingdom, but it doesn't particularly matter. What I'm saying is that the quantity of money this man takes home is essentially nothing at the end of the month. Right? You will have loads of months in which he's in the negative, and perhaps some months in summer when there's a few more tourists where things are a little bit more rosy, but whatever. This is evidently an individual who, by the measuring stick of success of an entrepreneur, is not successful. It's somebody who's just trudging along, but doing what he wants, which is commendable. So what happens is that he decides to put up a sign on his store and to lock all of his cabinets, and puts this sign up. Okay? Doesn't know how to spell scumbag, but that's fine. He's not there to learn to know how to spell. He's there to sell old stuff that he finds fascinating, and presumably some clients as well too. Now, guess what happens? I mean, anybody can guess this. Obviously, the police come to him and ordered him to take down the sign, because the sign can be perceived as offensive. Huh? This is cartoonish now. I mean, this is so completely assailable. It must be assailable even from a legal perspective. Right? So, A, he has an absolute right to say whatever the heck he wants to, whoever the heck he wants, with any level of generalization he wants to, and as all-sweeping as he likes. Okay? All it's going to do is potentially alienate some clients or whatever, or perhaps encourage some clients to actually help him out. I don't know. It's going to do some things. Potentially it's going to do absolutely nothing. The point is, he has had to invest money into purchasing security systems for his goods. I mean, with all due respect, these are very, very specific goods, okay? To a very, very large proportion of the general population, this is junk. This shop is equivalent to a junkyard. Okay, this is not a judgment. It is a judgment in the sense that I'm describing something, but it's not like me saying he shouldn't be doing this because it's junk. Not at all, right? It is, for example, not catering to me at all. But perhaps if I walked into the store, I could find myself something I find interesting or I would like to indeed acquire. I don't know, right? But the point is, to an enormous majority of the population, this is stuff that they have thrown away. Just like when you go to a North American value store, right? Or people have donated because they don't use it anymore. It doesn't matter, right? Like I said, we're one rung up from charity. Okay? Cool. So, this individual therefore has stated, I can't let you browse the goods, which I could do before, because the quantity of people stealing from me, or the quantity of thefts happening, could very well be less perpetrators, I don't know, okay, is too high. I'm going out of business. I'm losing too much money in stock. So, obviously, he called the police because this is theft, which is a freaking objective crime. And absolutely, completely understandable in the upstairs department, not in the hot department, the police did absolutely nothing. But for many, many reasons. Like I said, in the upstairs department, this makes lots of sense. Like catching a petty thief who has stolen, I don't know, a pair of vintage jeans, right, is incredibly difficult. It's going to require a very, very serious investigation for a very, very minor level of value of the good. And the principle certainly doesn't matter anymore. And even if you manage to catch these people, chances are these people that are doing these ridiculous petty thefts, right, are so poor that, or so completely incompetent at living that a punishment doesn't do anything. This is a total catastrophic failure, and you're looking at the tail end of it, right? The point is, the police are involved. Please look into this. They can't find anything, or they don't even look at it at all. Okay, so he's at a loss and he's got nothing he can do. So he tries to take matters in his own hands, protecting his own goods, which he has a sacrosanct right to do, and then communicates in this way to other people. And these guys say effectively to him something to the effect of, please run your message through ChatGPT so you can make it not offensive. Obviously, like a proper Brit, he says, like heck I'm doing that. I'm not taking down the sign, and I'm not changing a word of it, including the extra space between scum and bag. And he's absolutely right. This isn't clownish. This is mental, right? This is an open letter, an open question to all police staff out there. You have one of the most important jobs that exist in any civilized world. If we take the Americans, right, we can go with a well-organized militia being necessary for the security of the state. Okay, I'm just going to quote that first bit of the magical words that cannot be spoken. Okay, you are necessary. Fantastic. Now, one morning, you go to work, like every other morning, and your supervisor, whatever, some awful manager of some sort, okay, tells you, we have heard reports of the offensive message that's over there. Please go over there. And you go, oh, you mean the store that I went to yesterday because I was called to look into the fact that they suffered a theft, and this is the 17th call I receive in 2 weeks or something. Right? And you, like a good obedient little turd, a little man or woman, walk into this man's store and have the testicular fortitude of asking him to take down that sign. Like, what goes on through your mind? I'm talking to you specifically, Mr. Policeman. Right? Or Madam Policeman. Is that a thing? It is, apparently. Anyway, police person. I don't care. Policeman. Okay? What goes through your mind? Like, how are you not turning around, staring straight in the face of your employer, which is the government sub-stooge that has essentially stoogified yourself, right? Or is attempting to. And how do you not turn around and go like, no, I am not going. I, in fact, think that you yourself are a scumbag for asking me to do this. Specifically a scumbag with a space between scum and bag. This makes these policemen complicit into the crimes. And because this crime of theirs is just as petty, no, it's not, because at least it doesn't cost the man money. It's actually even pettier than the theft that's occurring. There's nothing really anybody can do. So this British man can simply say, no, I'm not complying, I'm going to keep on doing it. And he has every damn right to do that. This is so self-evident. But I need to know what the police are thinking. Well, I don't need to know it because I'm talking to a hammer and not to a policeman. But even if I did, like, what kind of answer would you have? Like, the only answer that is available that I can imagine is that you're a freaking coward and you can't stand up to these obviously draconian and awful laws, which aren't laws. Right? The law is wrong. If there is such a thing as a law against offensive speech, that's not the thing. Go away. Right? So the law is wrong. You're not policing the thing that you're supposed to police from a essentially monetary argument because it's not efficient to do that. There's more important things to do. Absolute rubbish. Right? And this man is absolutely cleaned up by the government for taxation. I mean, the police is supposed to be a functional version of the Mafia racket of protection. I pay my taxes so that the police protect me from bad actors. Right? And it's there now, it's shifted. So if the Mafia is, you pay me taxes and I don't protect you, and in fact I am the threat, this is the Mafia, and the police is, I protect you, you pay the taxes, so you pay me for the protection, but I actually do that. This is the difference between the two, okay? And the police is going straight over there. There is no difference between the police and the Mafia. You pay protection money. You can't not pay protection money because that's how the government works. Otherwise, you get arrested. I mean, clearly you're about to get arrested because you thought wrong, right? And if you vaguely complain, well, that just won't do. The family will take it. This is bananas. And the Stooges are just, what, going along with it? out of sense of loyalty, out of cowardice, out of you need your job and you need your paycheck. You, policeman, who's supposed to protect this man, are paid by this man, and you're stealing from this man by irritating the man and not doing the job that you were hired for, and that you presumably went through training and all sorts of stuff, and presumably you went into this job because you're passionate about protecting the people around you. I mean, policemen need to do a little bit of soul searching. They need to be a little bit, they need to figure out their own Hippocratic oath, because at the moment they have the hypocritical one. Okay? This is completely insane. This should never happen. This man shouldn't take the sign down. This man should be protected. He should have a policeman stationed in front of the damn shop. Permanently. Right? You, police people, failed at this. And government failed at generating an environment in which this type of theft is not happening as frequently as it is, and even worse, isn't in fact encouraged by the fact that it's never punished properly. I don't know. The victim of theft is being told that they can't complain in a colorful fashion. And this isn't even a complaint. And they can't defend themselves in a colorful fashion, which it isn't. So basically, let's say we put that through ChatGPT or something, and we say, due to increased shoplifting, please ask for assistance to open. He even put a please and a thank you. Because he's British, and British people are very polite. I can attest to that by having lived there for a long time. And I can attest to that because I come from a completely different culture where we order people around, and that's considered completely normal. A request is an order where I am from. Okay? This is incredibly irritating, and all police members of the world, particularly the lower levels, guys, you are a fundamental element of what we like to call civilization. Okay? Please do not become, but you already are, but anyway, please do not further become a reason for the unraveling of said civilization. Like I said, you already are. And I'm like, because that's the thing. Everybody, myself included, feels very uncomfortable about attacking individuals this way. Right? The problem is the concept of the collective or an organization doesn't exist. It's an illusionary term, an illusionary collectivist term to mean a bunch of individuals. Just like a political party doesn't exist. There's a bunch of lines. Oh, can I say scumbag? I'll say it as a single word, so perhaps that's legal, right? Scumbags all together trying to con the people into receiving power, to then do whatever the heck, whatever their little puppeteer that controls them wants, right? But not everybody in that group has the same ideas. In fact, nobody in that group has the same ideas. Lots of people will exist in the police force that take umbrage with this, and they are correct to do so. And perhaps they are not the people sent here. Perhaps they sent a younger gentleman or gentle lady to do this particular awful deed of irritating this man, adding insult to injury, which is indeed an antiquated phrase that we should all bring back, because it would indicate that we actually care about honor. Anyhow, I obviously feel uncomfortable about attacking an entire entity and grouping all individuals within there. But the thing is, there isn't any comfortable other way to do this. Right? What this is leading people, like myself and this shop manager guy, to think, obviously, is that all taxation is evidently and obviously and plainly theft. It's a protection racket that does not work and is there to hurt you. You're already hurt financially by the criminals, then you're hurt financially by the mafia, which is the government. And the police stooges, and that is the word, who will, I'm sure lots of policemen will take loads of offense to this, and I understand that, and I appreciate that. And it may well not be you, but it is. Because if it's not you, it's your brother there to your right or to your left. Somebody's doing this. And you all gotta stop. You all gotta stand up to the unprincipled worms that are on top of you telling you, you must do this, you must not. There is obviously, plainly, patently nothing wrong with this sign. And there is plenty wrong in you asking the man who has been a victim of your incompetence to take it down. You suck. All of you as an entity. Which is a huge shame because I think you're incredibly important. And it's an even bigger shame because I think you as individuals are probably very good people. Maybe. I don't know. Because one of you is doing this. Or 50 of you. Or 100 of you. Or all of you. How am I to tell the difference? The result is there. Crime is everywhere. You're not policing it. And you're irritating people who have opinions. Clearly you've solved every... no, you haven't solved every crime because they're there. Otherwise nobody would be complaining. Anyway, I've been going on. But you suck, police. And the people won't trust you. And this will be terrible for everybody.